when you came on 30th, we took your written responses and used it to generate recommendations. But we didn't have the opportunity just to drill down, because if you'd have drilled down on these numbers, you would have had maybe an additional recommendation. And automatically, one of those recommendations would have been that the figures must tie. Because when you look at some of these variances, let's take the biggest positive and the biggest negative variance. I think that's on road number 11, on specialized materials and services, where your financial statements has 377 million, but your trial balance has got 205 million, resulting in a variance of 172 million. Someone reading this without having further information would conclude that you over-reported your expenditure under specialized materials and services, that you actually spent 205 million, but reported you spent 377 million. Where is this 172 million, Governor? Where is it? How do you close that gap between what is in the trial balance and what was in the financial statement? It's a huge, huge variance of 172 million. What is that explanation?
Let me allow my CC to give a bit of an explanation.
Okay, proceed, CC.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity. So, according to the financial statement and the trial balance are extracted from IFMIS. And from our previous IFMIS, cleanup had not been done. So there were figures from the previous financial years that could have brought up this issue. Now, to clear this issue, we sought information from the Treasury so that they can be able to help us clean the system, so that we can be able now, in this financial year when we are reporting, will not be able to have this discrepancy. So that is one of the reasons that we noted that was coming from IFMIS. Thank you.
National Treasury, I'm looking at you because you're looking at the officer. Does that make sense, what she's explaining?
Yeah, I may not understand what she's talking about, because when we close the year, we start a new year with a new budget. That should have new payments and everything very new. As we are talking, they are given even a circular to say that a new budget has been eroded. So I do not know how those figures that are from the previous budget and payments could come into the next one. But most likely they have a reason as to why they were in there. I do not understand that.
Who are the preparers of this financial statement? Who are the signatories to the financial statements?
Mr. Chairman, traditionally, it is the chief officer who is the signatory to this, with the most experienced technical person within the department.
So I can see they were signed by Mariam Bunu, Chief Officer of Finance. Is Mariam present?
Yes, she is present, Chair.
And Tola Yusuf, Director Accounting Services. Is Tola Yusuf present?
No, Tola Yusuf is not here, but the chief and the rest of the staff can represent him.
Why isn't Tola here? And it is Tola's ISPAC number that has been used on the financial statements.
Chair, Tola is unwell. He is very unwell.
Can you confirm whether he's a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya?
Very much, Chair.
Can you confirm if he's a member in good standing?
Very much, Chair.
Clerk, can you run a check on ISPAC number 4824? Have you? I think it's very quick to do it on the ISPAC website. We used to have an ISPAC representative sitting here, so it used to make it very quick. 4824, which name does it bring up?
As the clerk goes through the number, or looks for the number at the website of ISPAC, I'm looking at your Annex 2, Governor. I'm not able to locate the reports, training reports on financial reporting on Annex 2. Where are they? Can you point them to us in Annex 2? The training reports, because what I'm seeing here is appointment into financial reporting unit. Where are the training reports? Did the training actually take place? And did we have a need for training? Because we've not cited lack of capacity as one of the reasons for these variances. You've not cited it anywhere in the management response.
Okay, as I think you have asked a good question that ties to the one that is currently pending, Clerk. So when you search for CPA number 4824, it brings up CPA Tola Bere Yona, membership status active, status not in good standing. So your financial statements prepared by someone who is not in good standing with a professional body. Senior Counsel, you have been the president of the Law Society of Kenya with similar arrangements. What happens when an advocate is not in good standing with the Law Society of Kenya? Are they, what limitations, what are the limitations to what they can do?
I think if you are not only standing, it means as a professional body does not recognize you to render services in that field. So if you are a lawyer, you are not in good standing, the LSK does not recognize you as licensed to provide legal services at that particular period when you search through the search engine. And I believe that is the same thing for ISPAC.
Correct. They're both regulated professions. Because even before we go to training of other people, but the person preparing your financial statements is not in good standing with ISPAC. That's where you must start. That's where you must start, Governor.
Chair, that is the reason for the continuous training which I talked about.
No. Continuous training, this problem does not go to everybody else. It starts with the preparer of this financial statement who should bear professional responsibility, but is not in good standing with a professional body. We might not know why he's not in good standing. I hope he didn't con some people, he didn't do some shady stuff. But whatever the reason, I don't know, Auditor General, if it comes to your knowledge that the preparer of the financial statement is not in good standing with a professional body, what happens?
Chair, we just report that they don't have capacity.
I think in simple English, what that means then is that whatever documents they produce, they are not admissible anywhere. That's just what it means. That you cannot rely on any document prepared by an officer who is not in good standing. You cannot utter that document anywhere. It cannot be referred to because it is null and void. That's what it means.
Senator Muruma.
And for the auditor, if you look at this column on cash and cash equivalents, the financial statements indicate that we have 223,946,309, but the trial balance indicates that we have 377 $1,799,710. A variance of negative 153,853,401. In simple terms, auditor, what does that mean?
It means the information contained in IFMIS shows that they have more cash of 377 million, but in their books they have less, 223 million.
What could be the interpretation of that data? If you are to dance with that data, what could be the interpretation?
Probably.
What is likely to have happened?
I think we queried this, Chair, where we said there were some bank accounts which has not been disclosed. Maybe they disclosed their cash and cash equivalents. And it is because of this record keeping.
Oh, auditor, don't speculate.
Yes.
The direct answer is that the trial balance shows you have 377 million, but you're telling the world you only have 223 million. Feature 153 million. Yeah, that's what this denotes. And that's why I'm saying if you'd have interrogated this, you would have generated additional recommendations. So we have financial statements prepared by someone who's not fit to prepare them, and that is your Director, Accounting Services. Is that the title of Tola Yusuf?
Yes, Chair.
So your Director, Accounting Services is not fit to hold that office because he's not in good standing with the professional body. Is there any other CPA who works under him? Is there any other? So, because I believe Director Accounting Services has got some other positions reporting to it. Is there any other member of ISPAC who works under this?
Chair, yes, there are many. Let me allow my chief also to respond a little bit.
Okay, so perhaps there's a deputy director? Is there a deputy director Accounting Services?
Oh, no, we don't have deputy director, but we have principal accountants, 2 principal accountants, and we have 1 chief accountant, and the others are accountant 2 and accountant 1.
So the principal, the 2 principal
CPAs.
and the chiefs report to Director Accounting Services,
yeah.
And the 3 are CPAs.
Yeah.
In good standing, reporting to a CPA, a boss who is not in good standing. This is where your problems are, Governor. This is where your problem. You have incompetent people in the organization. And this is the value of coming to Nairobi, because in Nairobi, the Senator of Nyamira does not have any conflict of interest in Tana River. He will tell you as is. The Senator of Isiolo does not have any conflict of interest. I don't know who this Tola Yusuf is, whether it's a male or a female, but the records from the ISPAC database indicates they are not in good standing. They are not fit to hold public office. So, let's go back to the numbers. Let's go back to the numbers. Let's go back to these numbers where you are saying you've spent 300 million, but the schedules only show 205 million. And auditor, you need to help us. For example, on this row on specialized materials and services, were you able to get a supporting schedule outside IFMIS that would justify the 377 million? Because it's easy to say IFMIS has issues, but even if IFMIS has issues, then they should be able to demonstrate that this because this is actual expenditure, isn't it? This is not budget.
Yeah,
this is money paid. So they should be able to tell you that under specialized materials and services, these are the LSOs, these are the invoices, these are the necessary documents that total to 377 million. Was that done?
It was done, but the movement changed of the opening balance to the closing balance of 377. We had a query with it, so
What assurance are you giving us?
We cannot give an assurance, and that's why the Auditor General expressed an adverse opinion that those records cannot be relied on, even those supporting share use. Because the movement from the opening balance, what was the opening balance, how it ended up to 377, actually some of the share use were not prepared.
So, Governor, in sum, we have a variance of 273,112,000. Which one was higher? The financial statements. Clerk, you read out our observation that the variance was 273 million. When you add that last column, it's 273 million. So you have which one is higher, the trial balance or the financial statement?
The financial statements.
So if the financial statement is higher than the trial balance by 273 million, it means that there's 273 million unaccounted for. So beyond this administrative action training, Governor, how do we close that gap? And where is the money?
Chair, the money is not lost. I think the challenge that the CC was trying to explain can be harmonized through the processes we've just said here, in my view. But let me allow her to also explain a little bit on how that gap can be addressed.
273 million, yeah, address yourself to that, because the numbers here, without any opinions or without any feelings, the numbers indicate that 273 million cannot be accounted for.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. As at now, what we've done in this coming financial year, as we've said, we've made the review committee who will be able to go through the report again so that we will capture the right opening balances for this coming financial year, which is still in process. So we will be able to, the processes are in place so that that is the reason why we have 3 levels. You have the financial unit, the financial reporting unit, which the previous ones who were there, we changed them. Now we have a new team who will be able to look through them. And then after they've already made the reports, they'll be able to go to the review committee, which also the review team, they are not in the preparation of the financial statements. And then after this review team will go back to the internal audit for further review. So by doing these levels of checking, we'll be able to curb this, and we will notice it and we will reconcile it back in this coming financial year.
The question is, between what you spent as per the ledger and what you reported, there's a difference of 273 million. We must close it for that year. What you're saying are, mitigation in future. If that is a position, then it means we conclude that the 273 million is stolen. It's just that in future, we shall correct it. So how do we close that 273 for that year? What CC has explained is how they're going to ensure that there'll be greater accuracy in future. 273 million, what do we make of it? She has given us a good story of what she will do in future.
Yeah, is it possible just to tell us,
Senator,
auditors, the auditor was indicating that probably you have stashed this money in some accounts somewhere, some bank accounts. That's why there is this variance here. Would that be the explanation, so that we cut the story short?
Chair, allow my chief officer also to explain.
Now it is going to the left.
To the right.
To your right.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
I hope isikue mchezo wa paka na panya, tunaenda huku na kule. Okay.
Since he's surrounded by ladies, I believe that they are strong ladies and
strong ladies,
ladies of integrity. Okay, proceed.
Through the chair, we need to do some reconciliation on the self-reporting units, because there are some transfers which we do to some funds, which at the end of the financial year, they do their own reporting and they are being audited separately. We need to do that reconciliation, and that 270-something million, it's something lying on those self-reporting units.
That explanation should have been made, really. Should have realized that is a problem and reported to the auditors.
No, that is not, you are not answering the question that is on the table. The question on the table is 273 million. Even if we leave the 172 million variation under specialized materials and services, look at the variation under insurance cost. Where your financial statements, you have reported 28 million, your trial balance is 16 million. And our assumption is that the trial balance is a source of truth. So you have a variance of 11.4 million under insurance cost. Insurance cost is straightforward. You buy insurance, comprehensive motor vehicle, GPA, wiper, whatever it is, there should never be a variation. What's in your ledgers really should be in your financial, the same figure in your financial statements, unless you are over-reporting so that you can balance the figures.
Through the chair, as we were speaking of the cleanup procedure we are requesting from the National Treasury, normally, sometimes, now I'm talking of the overall variances, not only on the cash equivalents, cash and normally, sometimes when we process something and we want to pay, sometimes it's hung somewhere. It's not in AB, nor is it in IFMIS.
So where is the 273 million? Where is it?
No, you have said it hangs. Where does it hang?
Where is it hanging?
Where is it hanging? I'd like to understand. I thought account is about figures. When you say it's hanging where?
Because it's about debit credit. So you have either debited or credited
what I
some
mean
account.
is the reporting, that's the actual expenditure. There's reporting. That's actual expenditure. But when it comes to IFMIS, I'm talking IFMIS, we have two systems. We have the IFMIS and IB. By that time, it was not online, but when sometimes you have to run, these are two separate systems. You have to run those payments from IFMIS for them to go to AB to be paid. But sometimes they hang. In fact, we have to call National Treasury to help us in such situations.
So, for example, right now, we are on the 16th of July. Since you close the financial year on 30th of June, did the National Treasury give you a window to sort out, to do your reconciliations, to do journals, to close any incomplete transactions?
Those are the cleaning we are talking about.
Was that provided in the prior financial year?
At that time, it was not done. That's
Chief Officer. You are the 47th county we are dealing with. So we have experience with 46 others. That's why I'm asking, today on the 16th of July, from 1st of July to 15th of July, the Treasury gives you a window to update your transactions in IFMIS, to do your journals, to do your reconciliations. That window was available last year. It was available in the prior financial year. It is not a new creation. Treasury, am I telling my own stories?
Chair, apart from the window for clearing and paying for the 5-10 days that are given by Treasury up to 15th July, statements are prepared by 30th August. During this period after the closure of the year, you have all the time to make the journals and ensure that your figures are correct. So the clearing is not even done in the 15 days. It is done after the closure of the year. When you get the issues that were not either cleared or they were not paid, that's the time you are given even a chance by Treasury to void and give the reason why you are voided. So these things, I don't think they should be hanging unless there was another problem with their system, their system that other side.
And there is only one IFMIS for avoidance of doubt, or is there an IFMIS for Tana River that is different from the IFMIS for Homa Bay?
No, IFMIS operated by the MDS, the national government, the same one operated by the county government.
So the workflows are the same?
The same.
The functionality of the modules is the same?
The same.
The integration is the same?
The same.
Senator Wambua.
You know, Chair, the Chief Officer has introduced a very interesting narrative, and I wish you would have given her time to run with it so that you also understand. Because what I understand us to be saying is that at the time of the audit, Chief Officer, you may want to hear this because you are the one with the story.
Order, Chief Officer, there's a matter that is being addressed.
Yeah, so my understanding is that what the Chief Officer is saying, that at the time of the audit, the auditors came to Tana River at a time that some money was hanging somewhere, I don't know where, and it's so much that almost on every account there is money hanging. So after the money has been released from where it is hanging, well, I believe it must have been released from where it's hanging, are we able now to trace it now? If we went there, we will find out the money has been released, it has gone where it was supposed to go.
Chief Officer?
Okay, through the chair, that's what I was saying. The issue of cleanup is to get those, and not that they have been paid. The moment something hung, it's not paid, but it's a transaction hanging. That's why I'm saying the actual expenditure on the payment, that is the IB record. Whatever, whether it's a IB or if we have any self-reporting unit and they have commercial bank, those the actual expenditures. But whatever is in IFMIS not paid, that's not part of that expenditure. Not unless it's because of the accrual, it's accounts payable.
Excuse me,
Yeah, that's what I
won't
was-
the system prompt you that there is an error?
No, what I was saying is sometimes.
What you have just told us, won't the system, the IFMI system itself, Treasury is here, won't it prompt you that there is an error?
No, it's only that you run something to IB, the requisition is there, you want to pay that something from IB, but it's not reaching IB. That happens, Madam Treasury, that happens.
Chair, let me raise this. IFMIS, the IFMIS data is done by IFMIS system. Trial balance is still produced by IFMIS. INB, it's a separate system for payment into the bank. So it doesn't produce any statement at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are two, through the chair, these are two
Governor,
separate
where is 273 million?
Chair, in my view, 273 is there, but we can only be able to have it in true picture after reconciliation, which we say the reconciliation process then comes out 2026, 2027. That's the time when now we can be able to reconcile, which is a process that is ongoing.
So do we take the position that, do we reach the conclusion that we cannot confirm the expenditure of 273 million?
Chair, you can only...
And therefore, we do two things. We either ask the Auditor General to dig deeper or ask the EACC to investigate.
You can only take my assurance, Chair, on this, and probably commit the Auditor General to pursue it with us until it is fully confirmed.
Chair, these statements were for 24-25. If you made a payment in 24-25 from your account to wherever it was going to, and it hung somewhere, the time to do the reconciliation was 25-26. The year that has just ended. If you have not done that already, then when do you expect to do it? Because I thought by looking at the statements, the bank statements
from CRF, and from wherever that money was going to. If there was anything hanging, so to speak, we must have realized during the just ended financial year and done the reconciliation. If we have not done that reconciliation in the year that has ended, when do you expect to do that reconciliation? In 26, 27? I thought that reconciliation should have been done.
That's what we are saying, Chair, here, that we'll be able to comfortably harmonize the reconciliation in 26, 27. That's the assurance we're giving.
Now, you are still going to do it with your quack.
Chair, we have formed a new team, as I've said, that we have now these two teams here, the Financial Statement Review Committee and the County Audit Committee, plus the Financial Reporting Unit. So with the new arrangement, we can comfortably now be able to handle the challenge that we have been having in financial reporting.
Your Director of Accounting Services is not in good standing with the Professional Institute. He has no business directing accounting services in your county. The Public Audit Act, I think, gives Parliament the power to declare someone unfit to hold public office in circumstances such as this. And we will need to understand why they are not in good standing. Clerks will need to write to ISPAC, and before we make a recommendation to the House that this person is unfit to hold office, not just in Tana River, but any public office. We'll need to find out the reasons. Maybe it's delay in payment of subscription fees. That could be part of the reasons. But whether they've delayed or not, the fact that the database returns that status, that person is unfit to hold public office, and ideally, these financial statements ought to be null and void, unless the chief officer is also a CPA. Is the chief officer a CPA?
Yes, Chair, the chief officer is a CPA.
Why didn't the chief officer indicate her CPA number? What's your CPA number, chief officer? Are you in good standing?
Yes.
Are you in good standing?
I know I'm in good standing.
You said your number is?
2519.
CPA Bunu Mariam Abdallah. Member number 20519. Status, not in good standing. That is how you're running the enterprise. Your chief officer, a member of ISPAC, is not in good standing. Your director accounting services, a member of ISPAC, is not in good standing. We cannot confirm how 273 million was used. The enterprise got an adverse opinion. That paints a terrible picture of financial management and financial reporting in Tana River. So instead of talking of generalities that you're going to train staff here and there, start with the people who are primarily responsible for these financial statements and responsible for the custody of financial records. The Senate will be sitting in...
Chair, I want to raise this. Cash and cash equivalent is not an expenditure. It is the actual cash and the amount in the bank. For the county to be able to reconcile this, they must get their cash book at the closure of the year that time, know how much was cash at hand, get to their bank accounts, get the total amount that was in their bank's accounts then get the total and give the correct figure. But it's not an expenditure. There is nothing else they will do. They cannot reconcile without the two.
Now, the Senate will be sitting in Kilifi County from the 21st to 25th of September 2026. That will be Senate Mashinani. Tana River and Kilifi County, they neighbor each other. And I think to go to Tana River, the easiest way is to fly into Malindi, isn't it? Or what's the easiest way to get into Tana River? From Nairobi? Yes, from Nairobi.
Yeah,
You just fly to Malindi.
To Malindi?
You drive to Tana.
Then you drive to Tana.
Yes, if
Now,
you are using the normal flight.
I want to propose, members, that when the Senate is sitting in Kilifi, we dedicate a day to go to Tana River, of course, to see the projects. It's been long since, actually, I don't think this committee has been to Tana River. And then we also do a more detailed inquiry on some of these issues that are before us, especially these 273 million. This one we must get an answer when we come to Tana River. And by the time we come to Tana River, Chief Officer, make sure you're in good standing with ISPAC. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to appear before us. Make sure your Director Accounting Services is in good standing. Otherwise, we will not allow him to appear before us, and we shall declare them unfit to hold public office. So we can deal with many of the issues in this report when we come to Tana River on the 21st to 25th of September. But in the limited time available, now that we have seen what the problems are, I think that conversation has exposed the governance challenges in Tana River. Maybe just to close it, do you have an audit committee now in place?
Chair, yes. Of an audit committee.
Fully constituted?
Yes. In fact, we have just renewed their contracts into the second term.
An internal audit?
Yes, we have.
The internal auditor is here? Okay, so we perhaps will rely on your expertise when it comes to the issue of trade payables, which I want to request that we go to the issues raised by the Auditor General on trade payables, what we used to call pending bills. Auditor General, your first observation on trade and other payables is inaccuracy in trade and other payables, isn't it?
Yes, Chair.
Can you read your finding? In the audit certificate, it is page 6. There are about 3 or 4 issues relating to trade and other payables. In the management response, I can see it is on page 10. So read your finding, we read our recommendation, and then we get the governor's action.
Thank you, Chair. Inaccuracy in trade and other payables. The statement of financial position reflects trade and other payable balance of 4,114,800,096 as disclosed in Note 23 to the financial statements. However, the detailed movement shown indicating opening balance, additions, and payments made during the year to arrive at the closing balance was not provided for audit. In addition, the Controller Budget Report reflects a total pending bills balance of 2,353,247,286 as at 30th June 2025, resulting to an reconciled variance of 1.7 billion. Further, the balance is net of suppliers' payments and adjustments of Kenya shillings 151,939,074, which have been excluded in the financial statements and whose journal features, together with the relevant accounting documentations, were not provided for audit. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of trade payables balance amount of Kenya shillings 4,114,800,086 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Clerk, what was the recommendation and resolution of the House?
Yes, Chair. The House resolved as follows. 1, the county executive shall provide an actionable payment plan within 60 days, prioritizing pending bills as a first charge of the county revenue on the county revenue fund as required under Regulation 41, 2 and 3 of PFM, County Government Regulations 2015. 2, The control of budget shall consider efforts to clear pending bills when approving exchequer releases. 3, the county government shall only pay pending bills contained in their procurement plan pursuant to Regulation 52 and 3 of PFM Country Government Regulations 2015. 4, supplementary budgets shall be prepared in the third quarter to curb arbitrary reallocations. 5, county government shall provide a budget for completion of existing projects. Initiation of new projects shall cease until existing projects are completed. 6, county government shall conduct public participation when formulating supplementary budgets, failure to which the control of budget shall not approve them.
Did you read our observation? The committee observation. I think it's important that we read that. The breach of the debt to revenue ratio. Committee observation.
Which page is that?
It's in the chairman's brief. I think this was a critical observation that. Yeah, please proceed, Clerk.
Yeah, the committee noted that trade payables of Kenya shillings 4,114,800,096 represent 50% of the total revenue, exceeding the 20% limit prescribed under Regulation 25(1)D of the PFM County Government Regulations 2015. This is a serious breach of fiscal responsibility and principles and undermines service delivery.
Okay, so let's get the response from the entity on action taken.
Chair, the management takes note of the committee's recommendations. Page 10. On the inaccuracy in trade and other payables, we have taken the following actions. A, the county treasury has undertaken a review and reconciliation of trade and other payables to establish the accuracy and completeness of outstanding obligations. An actionable payment plan has been prepared, prioritizing verified pending bills in accordance with Regulations 441, Subpara 2 and Subpara 3 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations of 2015. The County Treasury has further strengthened controls over the recording, verification, and settlement of payables to ensure that only valid obligations are recognized and paid while safeguarding the county revenue fund. As attached in Annex 6, communication with accounting officers on validation of pending bills. B, the payment plan for pending bills was updated in June 2026 to include the additional allocations in supplementary budget for the financial year 2025-2026. Also, Annex 7, pending bills, payment plan, June 2026. A payment plan for the settlement of pending bills in the financial year 2026-2027 will be developed once the financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates are approved and the allocations towards the settlement of pending bills is confirmed. C, the county executive has proposed Shillings 1.2 billion in the draft financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates for the settlement of pending bills with the aim of facilitating the completion of ongoing projects. Consequently, the initiation of new projects during financial year 2026-2027 has been kept to a minimum. The county executive is currently engaging with the county assembly to ensure approval of the financial year 2026-2027 budget estimates, which this orientation
Okay.
These oranges.
A fairly detailed report on action taken, but it does not address the numbers that have been queried in there. I think you've told us what you're going to do going forward. The query was inaccuracy in the amount reported. So there are three numbers: 4.1 billion, 2.3 billion reported to the control of budget, and 151 million excluded in the financial statements. Auditor General, let's start with the 151 million. In the written responses that they submitted on 30th of March, were they able to justify that amount?
No, Chair.
It was not explained.
No.
In the written responses that were submitted on 30th of March, were they able to reconcile the difference between the control of budgets figure and the figure in the financial statement?
They have not reconciled.
So, Governor, how do we deal with this 151 million, which the auditor says has been excluded in the financial statements, and whose journal vouchers together with relevant accounting documentation were not provided for audit? What is this 151.9 million?
Chair, let me allow my chief officer to respond to that.
Okay, Chief Officer, proceed. Specifically to the 151 million, because I thought you had explained it in your written responses, but it emerges that it has not been explained.
Through the chair, let me first start with the difference of 1.7 billion between the control of budget figure and the figure in the financial.
That is an easier one. Let's start with the 151 million.
That figure, I'm seeing it very large. That's why I need to explain that.
It's okay. The control of budget is here, by the way. The control of budget is here. So let's deal with your number. 151 million excluded in the financial statements and whose JVs, together with relevant accounting documentation, were not provided for audit. Tell us about that 151 million.
From our record, we had not excluded any 151, included all payments for the pending bills. That's why first I wanted to start with the control of budget difference, the bigger difference of 1.7 billion.
So you have responded to the 151 million?
151 million, we don't have, we disclosed everything that we paid.
The auditor
but
says...
I think we need to sit together with the auditors general. At least when they give us that, we do the reconciliation. But we disclose everything.
Order, Chief Officer. The auditor says 151 million was excluded in the financial statements, and their documentation were not provided for audit. Auditor General, is that the position?
At the time of audit, Chair, the imbalance excluded. Further, the balance is net of suppliers' payment and adjustments. Those adjustments you did to the total pending bills of to arrive at the closing balance of 4.1 billion, excluded 151, which were in the opening balance of that year.
So if they are excluded, what does that mean? Is it they were paid, they were written off, or they were kept somewhere waiting for resurrection in the next audit cycle?
That's what I'm saying. Through the chair, we'll have to do reconciliation of the 151 for the opening balances. Because at the end of the financial year, we closed with 4.1 billion, of which we had ineligible pending bill of almost 1.7 billion and whatever that was disclosed by the control of budget.
Now, Honorable
but
members,
we will have to do the reconciliation on the 151 million.
Members, I'll bring your attention to note 23, which you are a note which you're very familiar with. But as you analyze note 23, I'd like the Auditor General to read another finding on trade payables. There's another finding the Auditor General made on trade payables so that we tie them all together. There was a finding on long outstanding trade payables. I think that's what the clerk read, that it violated the TFM regulation, which says that debt to revenue shall not exceed 20%. But then there's a matter of irregular payments of pending bills. So Auditor, just read that so that when senators are interrogating that note, they have that in context. Irregular payment of pending bills is under report. It's under
page 9.
So is that under the financial statement or that's under lawfulness?
Under lawfulness, Chair.
It's under lawfulness?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah. So can you read that finding so that we deal with these things of trade payables maramoja?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Long outstanding trade payables. The statement of financial position reflects trade and other payables balance of Kenya shillings 4,114,896 as disclosed in note 23 to the financial statements. The county total revenue budget amounted to Kenya shillings 8,325,325 during the year under review, translating to 50% public debt of the expected total revenue. This is in breach of regulation 25D of the Public Finance Management of County Government Regulations of 2015, which provides that the county public debt shall never exceed 20% of the county government's total revenue at any one time. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the law. Then, Chair, if you allow, I can read that.
Yeah, I think the next finding is a more substantive one.
Irregular payments or pending bills. The statement of financial position reflects trade and other payables balance of 4.1 billion as disclosed in note 23 to the financial statements. The amount is net of pending bills payment of Kenya shillings 662,012,881 made during the year under review. However, the payment amounting to 662,012,881 was made to suppliers not listed in the approved payment plan. This was contrary to Regulation 53(1) and 2 of the Public Finance Management of County Governments Regulation of 2015, which requires that, except as provided for in the Act and these regulations, an accounting officer of any entity may not authorize payment to be made out of funds earmarked for specific activities for purposes other than those activities, and public officer who makes such an unauthorized payment commits an offense under the Act. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the law. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so there are three, or at a minimum 3 aspects that have come out on trade payables: the accuracy of the amount, the lawfulness of the entire stock, and then 662 million made to suppliers not listed in the approved payment plan. Of course, if you go to the note itself, you'll be able to see a very huge amount of money. Maybe we get the county's response on irregular payments of pending bills, and then the senators can interrogate. Maybe on our observations and recommendations, clerk, on irregular payment of pending bills, what was our observation and recommendation. Should be on page 36 of the chairman's brief.
Yes, Chairman. The committee notes that that Kenya shillings 662,001,12,881 was paid to suppliers not listed in the approved payment plan, contrary to Regulations 52 of the Public Finance Management County Regulations of 2015. This regulation stipulates that funds earmarked for specific activities cannot be used for other purposes, and unauthorized payments constitute an offense under the law. The committee recommended that the accounting officer to prepare a schedule of the paid bills not in the list of payments of the payment plan, with an explanation of the critical services that would have suffered had the bills not been paid. The list to be provided to OAG and the Senate for verification within 60 days of the adoption of this report.
So we had a fairly lenient recommendation to an obviously criminal matter. Governor, what's your update on that matter, on the action taken?
Chair, the management has noted the committee's recommendation on the payment of pending bills, that a schedule of the paid bills not in the payment plan be prepared with a justification. All payments for pending bills follow the payment plan that is shared with the controller of budget. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Muruma.
Yeah, Chair, we need really to know why that law was breached. Why we paid pending bills which are not in the payment plan. I think that is important because there was just breach of law. And you know there are officers who did that. What did you do to them? You know, was there any administrative action? Why should you pay outside a payment plan, which you have done yourselves?
Because this might end up tying to the issue of voiding.
Yes.
And we made it clear in our recommendation that you must provide that list of the 662 million within 60 days, not after 60 days. So within 60 days means today. Where is the list?
Chair, allow me to allow the chief officer also to respond to that.
First of all, Auditor, were you provided with a list of this 662?
Yes.
It was there, but it did not indicate the critical services as recommended by this committee, which would have suffered.
Was we said they needed to explain the critical services that would have suffered had the bills not been paid.
Yes.
That is notwithstanding the fact that this is an offense. Control of budget. How does this work? That a county can pay pending bills outside the payment plan? I mean, how does the system allow that to happen to the tune of 600 million?
I think what happens when money is approved, they bring a list of suppliers that are supposed to be paid. So now when the money is released, that's now when they go and change the list of who gets paid.
Maybe the other question.
That one has been happening a lot. Not only this county, from many counties. But now I understand the central bank is working on that. Maybe in future this will not be able to happen. But it has been happening a lot. They bring a list of like 50 billion to pay like 1 to 10 suppliers. Then when we release the money, they go and change the list. So it has been a norm in counties. This is not the only county.
Maybe, Chair, what I want to ask is the control of budget. Is it possible for the control of budget to allow payment of money outside the payment plan?
What happens with counties?
By the way, as you answer, is that a legal requirement that you must approve the payments?
Okay, let me explain. So for us to approve any money to be paid to any supplier, we have two lists. There is what we call pending bills universe, and then there is what we call the pending bills payment plan for the specific financial year. So now when the county brings a requisition, for us to be able to approve, those suppliers have to be in the payment plan. So now that is when we can be able to release the money. So now what has been happening, the list is brought, we check from the payment plan, we release the money, but now at the payment level, that is where the problem has been.
Oh, let me understand this. Assuming I've got legal services from Omogeni and Company Advocates and from Cherargei and Company Advocates, the requisition to pay Omogeni 10 million, you approve. Then they pay Cherargei and Company Advocates. That's what you're describing.
That's what I'm saying.
So what happens to Omogeni's debt, which you had already approved? Will they come and requisition it again?
No, because the list is too huge, and they don't have enough money to pay all the suppliers. So they can do what we call cherry picking. They can cherry pick other suppliers.
No. Yes, in this instance, will Omogeni ever be paid?
Not unless now he notices that he was not paid, and he comes to us and launches a complaint with us.
No,
then
10 million is not, well, okay, for him 10 million is not much, but for somebody else, you'll notice that 10 million didn't come. So when he lodges that complaint, what happens? Yet the money had already been approved.
Yes, when he comes to us and launches the complaint, the controller will hold money for the county until that supplier gets paid. So we'll tell them, for me to be able to approve your money, you have to bring a requisition with that supplier's name to be paid.
Yet it had already been approved.
Yeah, of course, but when it is paid and it's diverted, then
and there's no action, there's no recommendation for criminal sanctions when that arises.
Now that one is it's left at the controller now to decide, and our legal team.
No. We are abetting crime in county. Senator Mbua.
Rimsek, you're saying things that are very interesting. So, if he requisitions and he is paid, you're saying he can come later and requisition again.
Actually, it's a breach of law. But now that is why one of our functions as the control of budget is to do mediation in case of such cases.
What do you mediate? I mean, he requisitioned, somebody else was paid. It's a clear breach. What is that?
Chairman, the normal procedure for paying suppliers, is the county brings the requisition to us. And at the beginning of any financial year, you will bring two lists to us. One is the pending bills, the universe list. The second one is the payment plan. So when we are approving requisitions to pay the suppliers, you have to bring a list of the suppliers whom we check from the payment plan. Then we are able to release the funds. So when the funds are released to CBK, from that time, it is not in our control. It is at the county. It is the county which decides who to pay. But for us, we do the approvals.
They can't decide who to pay. You have already told them I've approved you to pay A, B, C.
That is it. And then there is a list they bring. We call EFT, which they have uploaded suppliers in IFMIS. But now the payment where they make the final payment, this is where this one happens. But now there is a procedure that is ongoing with the CBK to be able to cap this.
Yeah. No, just using your reason, your example of Omogeni and Cherargei, why a county would requisition to pay Omogeni and then pay Cherargei? Sometimes it's because Cherargei is having a fictitious bill. A bill that can easily be constructed fictitiously and pay. Otherwise, if the Cherargei's bill was okay, was legit,
then the county should have a requisition for Cherargei.
Let's qualify that, because someone can cut that part and say that Cherargei's bill is fictitious.
Yeah.
I think it's just we're just using an analogy. We are not imputing any improper motive on Senator Cherargei.
No, I don't know. Yes, it should be reactive. You have drawn this to our attention, and the yes is easier. What's your take through the chair? Breach of law, that's, I think, an avenue for big fraudulent payments at counties. Because what you are telling us is the system of you holding governors somehow accountable, no, they are paying, is being breached. They can pay people you don't even know as a control of budget. So what are you doing as EACC?
Thank you so much for that. My reaction would be, as per the ASECA, when you pay for the bills not planned for, that is a breach of law. Engaging in a project without prior planning, it's against the law, and yeah, this is a matter that should be investigated. Thank you.
Is there a case there of obtaining funds through false pretenses?
Of course. I think you can have a very long charge sheet on this particular matter.
Actually, Chair, did you listen? He says these are recurrent problems. Is that what you said?
Yeah, true.
So unless, EACC, as we don't have the powers you have, unless you move in to do something, we are subjecting some maybe honest business people at counties who may not be able to engage in some under dealings to a lot of pain, and giving room to governor. Maybe the ones who are paid are the ones who get paid to share the money, the way Senator Maruma was saying. A fictitious claim, processed quickly, paid, and money is shared. I hope EACC can do something.
Now, Controller, who is this who changes the payment details once you have already approved? Let's be specific. Who has that power? Who has that right in the system?
Yeah, it is now from the county side. Because now for us,
what is that? Because there's a user. These changes, are they done in the system or they're done manually?
I think that is at the CBK level.
Who is that user?
Well, let me list this.
Yes.
Approval by the controller of budget is done manually. So when they bring the approval of those payments, the controller approves them. But what will be done there, he may or she may not have the leeway to know what will be paid. But to her side, she has the view that what I approved was in the plan.
Who is the user with the rights to upload with amendments?
Chair, this is not uploading. It is at least that it's blocked. When they have shown even the controller they have money in the CRF. So when the money gets there, the controller will think what has been given to her, it's what will be paid. But they have a way of changing those things and pay somebody else.
That's what I'm asking. Is it the governor? Is it the CEC? Is it the chief officer? I think there's someone with that right.
Those rights, I think, they lie with the chief officer.
Chair, let me
as a response. Why can't you use this conversation? Why can't you use
just a minute?
Why can't you use
just a minute?
Yes. Why can't you use Tana River as a good example? Let them tell us who did the changes.
Chair,
Governor,
let me give a different opinion, because the controller of budget has indicated that this is not one county, and again he mentioned something about money, that probably they don't give enough money, and I want to propose that probably is a matter that you can converse with the COG so that we take it higher, then we can be able to square. And again, it's proposed that CBK is trying to come up with something that can be able to harmonize. So that's my proposal, Chair. We maybe don't need Tana River to be...
I thought you were going to give us more information on this.
No, this is...
What you have said are recommendations for the future, which is okay.
Yes, Chair.
Let's deal with the 600 million.
Then allow me to...
We said we provide a list providing justification.
Yes.
Maybe there was drought. Maybe there was serious conflict that required you to reallocate funds. There is nothing before us. What the control of budget has explained is a criminal act in counties. It's prevalent. It could be in the other counties, but we are dealing with Tana River today. We want to know, who is this officer who rewrites approvals after the control of budget has granted them? Is it the governor?
Chair, let me allow my chief officer to respond.
Yes,
to that.
because we are not going to kill the governor for everything. We are going to lay the blame where it's supposed to be. Who is this person who changes what has already been approved?
Thank you, Chair. Let her explain.
And they raise their hands. I think it's as easy as that.
This one is the one that...
Chief Officer, you are the one committing these illegalities.
I'm not saying I'm saying they want to respond.
Okay, proceed.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'll respond to two issues. The first one, the representative from the control of budget was general. In case when there is any diversion, it's the chief officer finance. That's the first concern I was...
so now we have our culprit.
Yeah, the second issue now is the query itself for the 662 million. In fact, that query, we should start with the Auditor General, because from their report they said that we diverted 662 million. I had asked Mr. Morris, your deputy, to give me that list, because according to me, I have not diverted 662 million. But I wanted that list. I was never given that list.
How much? Yeah. How much is in your records as having been diverted?
No, we have paid everything what we requested from the control of budget.
But
from the plan.
No, Governor, yeah. No, we won't go that route. This matter, this figure has been on this report from 31st of December. Not even 31st of December. Now, you signed your financial statements and you never even put a date on, you never even indicated the date you signed them. But nonetheless, the Auditor General issued a certificate on 15th December 2025. That figure of 662 million has been there since then. We cannot argue about it now because, Auditor, I believe you had a management letter, you had an exit meeting, you had a draft certificate. Was that question asked at that point?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Was a detail provided?
The due process to ask the query was followed. We didn't get adequate response to drop it.
So this cannot be the place where we are questioning the 662. Senator Chirarke.
Thank you, Chair. They say the devil is in details. Let me start from note number 23. Governor, and it's important that you note what I'm going to ask you so that I don't need to repeat myself. On the breakdown, give us the justification that only under 1 year, over 2 years, you have 2,729,344, 2,729,344,774, which is 66% of your pending bill. Looking at the response on your payment plan, what is the justification? And I believe you have been the governor for some time, so it could not be that it accrued from any other regime. Chair, my second question, I've gone through the annexures that the governor has provided, and that is why I was saying there is the devil in the details. I've seen, what is the fate of your contingent liabilities? Because I've seen, Chair, that there are so many legal fees attached to the office of the governor. I don't know whether the governor likes to be sued or is suing. Let me just highlight some of the law firms, like Tomo Genda and Associates, or 29.
Yes, maybe point us to the...
Where are you reading
the
from?
schedule that you're reading.
I'm reading what the governor provided.
So that
I'm just getting started. That is Annex number 7.
We don't accuse you of doctoring...
No, I can't. I'm just doing... Chair, it is Annex number 7.
Yep.
And I've just sampled because they are spread over the schedule.
I can see page 1 of 19, so it has about 19 pages.
It is, this is Annex 7, the whole of it I've just sampled. So I just wanted to illustrate a point, because most of these legal fees are attached to the office of the governor. And just to sample a few, so that I can ask my question, Chair, like Tom Agenda and Associates, 29.8 million, Odiambo Orenga, 64 million, Osura and Associates, 55.5, Paul Andre, 15.2 million, Apollo Muinde, 240,000, CNN Advocate, 24.1 million, Agiaro, 16.1 million, Jamal Black, 35.1 million, John Bwire and Associates, 4 million, Shishanya, 1 million, but he has another big one of 65, Chair, 65 million. We have Masingila and Associates, 22.5, Osura again, 7.5, Kilonza and Assis, 30 million, Mwangi and Company, 8.2, Saluni and Company, 5.6, Dhadho, 2.3 million. This is what I've sampled, Chair. It comes to over 411.5 million that is attached to the office of the governor. So my question is, one, where is your contingent liabilities that has been disclosed? And number two, where is your office has over 401 million that is attached to office? Why this? What is the justification of having this huge pending bill of 411 that is attached to the pending bills through the chair? And what is the essence? My only concern on this annex, Chair, number two, is on the DG residence. What is the status of the Deputy Governor residence that is still being owed 19.9 million, considering the ceiling that we had put? Number three, Chair, there are two items I've noted in this annex 6, is on technical audit. They have given 3 million, and then consultancy services is 19,413,826 shillings, and you never indicated what was the purpose of these consultancy services. Chair, finally, and it looks like, Chair, Tana River are prone to sky team, because I've just sampled on air ticketing. I don't know where you are going, Governor, but maybe you can justify this. Or the few air ticketing services that you have engaged on this spending bill, you have engaged 41.14 million. I don't know where you are flying to. Maybe you will tell us that 41.14 million. Chair, out of that, there is an helicopter charter of 747,684. So Governor should tell us what is the essence of 41.14 million, which I have sampled in your Annex 6. That is spending bill, the justification of this air ticketing that we see, and I think, in my own opinion, this is one of the entities that they are using more of air services. I could agree to some point they could be reasoning behind it, but you are flying too much. It means you are avoiding roads. You know, for us, the reason you want to fly too much is the roads are in bad condition. Why don't you fix the roads and use roads more and avoid flying? Because you might end up flying into heaven. So, Chair, that is what I wanted to on the, and finally, Chair, on toilet only, sorry for taking long, so that I have seen, Chair, Governor, let me give you the specifics, Chair, so that the governor do not, there was, just indulge me, Chair, just there was consultant service, that is item number 201, for members who want to know, of 19 million. Then the completion of DG residence, the governor should tell us what is the status, that is item 162. The legal fees, of course, is cross-cut, Chair. Chair, I'm wondering, in item number 33, there is a construction of toilet at Ola municipality stage of 1.8 million. It says one toilet. So I don't know. Why are you doing a toilet of 1.8 million? We saw your account.
You said entry number?
That is item number 33, Ola municipality Stone Investments Limited, construction of toilet at Ola Municipality Stage, 1,880,000 Kenyan shillings. It's one of the expensive toilets of our time.
Financial year is 2021?
I hope
2022.
I hope it's not the VIP, because yours, I think yours is becoming number 2, not you as the Homa Bay County. They were doing at around 600,000. So the winner comes from Tana River, unless the governor dissuades us from believing that a toilet is done at 1,880,000 and the person needs to be paid. So, Chair, can the governor dissuade us from the amnesty you have provided, the justification that is pending bill, that if the people of Tana River, Chair, listen to it, they might imagine that these are necessary expenses over drugs, roads, and ECD centers, among other issues. Chair, finally, that will be my final question. So, Governor, with this payment plan that you have highlighted, as of now, how much has been paid by your county to these services and goods provided by your suppliers, and how much is being owed? And maybe, Chair, since most counties have done the budget, in passing, you could tell us how much you have allocated in this budget year of 2026-27. Chair, I yield back the mic.
Thank you. When you are silent for a long time, I knew you are going to ask a bombastic question. And you have asked about 7 questions, which are all very useful. Let's start from the last one that Senator Cherargei has asked, which is pretty straightforward. The current status of pending bills, before we go back to the details. And I will guide you, because I've taken note of all the details, the long-standing trade payables, the contingent liabilities, the legal fees, the helicopter travel, the DG residence, the consultancy of 19 million, and the toilet of 1.88.
Yeah, and there's a technical audit of 3 million.
And technical audit of 3 million.
Yes.
So maybe just to, first of all, give us a picture. You closed this year at 4.1 billion.
And you forgot the one of air ticketing. I had sampled a few issues on behalf of the committee of 41.14 million.
Yeah.
I have all of them, Chair. Okay. Oh, yeah.
So let's start with the global. What's the current situation? Because you have closed your financial year. What have you closed at as pending bills, as trade payables?
Chair, I have just said in my previous responses that we have allocated 1.2 billion shillings in this budget. 1.2 billion shillings in this budget. And I said that the county assembly, we are still talking with the county assembly to make that a priority. Because again, Chair, we have a directive from the controller of budget that we must clear pending bills, but again, we have to prioritize pending bills and ongoing projects. Because of that, Chair, we have now put that amount of money to take care of that. But let me explain a little bit, Chair. If you look at the records of the first administration into the second, which brought about the debate about pending bills and ineligible pending bills, you will note that Tana River probably is the first one, probably, among the top who started paying pending bills. We didn't have an objection to paying whatever was carried forward as pending bills to the county, because it remains a responsibility of the county. In other counties, probably there was a bit push and pull, but we didn't do that. So we started paying from the word go, and we prompted the controller by the Auditor General to help us in coming up with an eligible pending bill so that we can be able to pay. So looking from that trajectory, Chair, we had been paying pending bills from the word go. But somewhere here in between, then there was push and pull between assembly and executive. We allocate so much because we wanted to get out of it, but there has been push and pull. I wish the county assembly was here today to also give their contribution. However, that directive of the control of budget then will help us to probably agree on the 1.2 billion. on details about how much and that, let me allow my CC Finance to give us how much have we so far, how much is pending, how much, of course, the allocation have already said.
Yeah, that would be useful so that we see the global,
Yes,
then
yes,
we go back to the details.
That's how much you've paid and how much you balance.
Thank you very much for that. We had allocated 764 million.
764 million.
Yes. Okay. Our director is here, but it was 764.
Yes.
To settle the 4.1 billion.
Yes. That's what you are saying. You are saying the governor is saying we are trying to push it so that we can, we've strategized another way of paying these pending bills by not starting other projects before we finish the existing ones, which are the pending bills.
For that, yeah, Chair. Maybe just specifically, because you're asking how much was budgeted for.
Yes.
You are saying you budgeted 764 million to pay pending bills.
Yeah.
And you made a payment plan coming to a total of 764 million.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
What about the multi-year?
Actually, that was my other point. Bearing in mind that 2.7 billion was older than 2 years. Actually, this aging should have been broken down. Senator Maruma, you are the expert in aging analysis. We just have over 2 years. We should also have been able to see what is greater than 3 years. So 764 million allocated to a pending bill outstanding of 4 billion, out of which 2.7 billion is over 2 years. So that means, Governor, at this time next year, you'll be having only 3 weeks remaining as governor. Are you going to hand over these bills to the next administration after 10 years of diligent service?
Chair, my intention is to leave the county without a pending bill. But
your budget cannot support
it. Started from the word go, staggering pending bills payment from 2017 when I came in. But we started well. Somewhere on the way, then we faced challenges because the expectation of the executive was different from that of the assembly. So when every time we submit a budget, they will reduce again. So we have not been able to meet what we wanted. This same 1.2 billion was the same that we budgeted for last financial year. But it was reduced from 1.2 billion to almost 600 million. That's by half. And that's why we are trying to convince the assembly that we shouldn't go that way on this budget. So that's why we pushed back the 1.2 billion and spared the rest for ongoing projects. So that at least by the time I'm coming out, we don't have a remaining pending bill. That is the intention. But we are not the only players, Chair. We work with other people.
And really, it's not, it's just something for you to think through. That after 10 years of service to the people of Tana River, ideally you shouldn't leave debt older than 2 years. Even if you're leaving debt, it should be 1 year, between 1 to 365 days. But if you have 2.7 billion older than 2 years, that means that debt was incurred in your time in office. You can't blame anybody else. You can't blame the cash flow even on the assembly. I mean, they're involved, but you cannot offload that blame to them. And I say that with a lot of sympathy to even some of my colleagues who want to be governors. That you get into office and you find you've got 2.9 billion worth of debt that is 3 years old. The first thing you have to do is verification. So you take contractors into another cycle of verification, and then you just give county governments a bad name. How I wish that as part of your legacy, you'd make a commitment that this debt over 2 years would be given priority, because that's what the law requires. It must be done as a first charge. But having looked at the 600 million, the way it was treated, there is a problem. You will not be able to achieve that. Senator Muruma.
Chair, I had asked this question about the budget for 24-25. No, it's 25-26. That we budgeted 764 million for the year under review, 25-26. Is that not so? Because I want to get something right. That the budget was 764 million for 25-26, the year we are considering.
Our director,
24-25.
Our director planning is here. Let him give us the exact.
Yeah. For 25-26, how much did you budget for payment pending bills?
For the year 25-26, we budgeted.
No, 24-25. Oh. Because 25-26 is what is being audited now. So it is 24-25.
Just 2 minutes, we'll be responding to that.
But Chair,
yes.
Even before she responds, that was approved by the Assembly is what they would be talking about. But what we initially intended to put in the budget is not 7. It's
I'm asking
5,
this because
not 6.
If 764 was what was budgeted for, and then out of that 662 million was paid outside that schedule, then we cannot complete the clearing or the payment of pending bills. We can't defray the pending bills if we go that direction, because we have planned to pay 764 and possibly we have a schedule of the pending bills to pay, and then we end up paying 662 million outside that schedule. Then there's no way we can figure out the pending bills.
So Governor, we said that just to prompt you. I know your budget cycle is, I think, have you completed your budget cycle?
Yeah, we've completed now. It is, we are still on the final.
But you can still do supplementaries.
Yeah.
Please think about this as your legacy. That your legacy is not that you left the county with 3 billion or 4 billion in terms of debt that you paid your service providers. In this figure, how much of it is owed to staff? Statutory pensions, retirement contributions from defunct local authorities.
Unless we
but does such an obligation exist?
Not really. Anything substantial.
What about my detailed questions?
No, we are still on the current.
Don't give the governor the escape route.
No. We are still
on the track.
We're actually on your last question as we build up to the rest. So on staff debtors, do you?
Chair, we have always been paying staff debtors, statutory deductions and payments. We don't have a problem with that.
You have sorted out your pensions from inherited staff.
Yes, we are doing very well, Chair, on that.
Auditor General, are you able to give us that assurance? Because very few counties are in that position where they do not have any unreconciled pensions dues.
For the year under consideration, Chair, we had
very little
that assurance.
But the historical, the historical issues.
If you allow me to dig deeper, Chair.
Okay, fine. Now, let's go to the next one on legal fees. I think Senator Cherage had asked about it. He has sampled a few. He has tied it with contingent liabilities. Do we have a disclosure of contingent liabilities in the financial statements?
But as she thinks, Chair, allow me to respond to, is there?
The contingent?
No, but I'm trying to explain a few things.
No, I think we just want to confirm whether
there's contingent
liabilities has been disclosed. Has it?
I think we need to confirm that further.
That should be note number 30, and it is blank.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's also a very material disclosure that you are officers who are not in good standing ought to have made. So, Senator Goddae has highlighted quite a number of pending bills arising from legal services. Because those two, the contingent liabilities are the matters still under litigation, but what you have attached here are matters that have already been determined and are pending payment. So your question was a total of
441 million over.
Over
Because
441
I sample
million.
a few legal fees, and mostly are attached to the office of the governor.
Governor?
So, and another aspect was, why was contingent liabilities not disclosed? It is blank. So, maybe it is because they are not in good standing.
I think on non-disclosure of contingent liabilities is a professional negligence, and we shall deal with it as such. Go to the issue of the legal fees in the governor's office.
Chair, Senator Cherargei is so concerned about this office of the governor. Office of the governor is the head office of the counties. So all these payments are across the county in the first place. It's not just and across departments. But, Chair, Tana River is a bit unique. The uniqueness of Tana River has not been said today. It has been said many, many times and for many years. The challenge is that in that county would it take somebody to properly understand what goes on there that takes us always into legal fees, because then there are issues that would only require us to go to the court. For example, the issue of the boundary between coast and the northern Kenya has always been a subject. And we've gone to independent commissions. We've spoken about it within the circles of government. And not us today. It has been there. People have been talking about it. And we thought, over and above the commission, then we need to go to court. That is not an issue that the office of the governor can just keep sleeping over. That's one, Chair. If you go to probably issues of land, which is a big issue again in Tana, the records show that there are many issues that are hanging with the National Land Commission that involve communities. And when communities go to court, the first person that is called in to reply is the office of the governor. It is the county government. So there are many of
question it if we feel like you are abusing it. But Senator Cherargei has picked those figures from a list saying that there are legal fees, or some of them could be awards that are outstanding. And perhaps some of them could be accumulating interest. That is a financial risk that we must look at, because we can't talk about the quantum or the, that can be dealt with at another level. But you've got these huge amounts sitting in your pending bills, perhaps some of them generating interest. Why are you not paying them? Senator Wambua.
Chair, no, sorry. You saw me taking some notes, and when I heard the governor saying that Tana River is very unique, I stopped, because I wanted to listen to the uniqueness of Tana River. But what he has told me is what happens in every other county, Chair. There are disputes with boundaries almost between any neighboring counties. Wait, Governor, relax. There are issues to do with land adjudication in almost every county that you go to. Perhaps here the question that we should have asked ourselves and asked the governor is to tell us whether he has a functional office of the county attorney. In which case then some of this expenditure could be mitigated. Do you have a functioning office of the county attorney in the county government of Tana River as per the Act?
Chair, yes, we have an office of the county attorney. In fact, the county attorney himself is here. But if
How many legal counsel do you have in that office?
yes, we have.
How many?
We have two.
Two.
Yes.
So you see now,
That is the reason why
No,
they are spending close to
Yes, yes.
500
No.
Maybe, Governor, because under the Office of the County Attorney Act,
Yes.
the reason this Senate passed in the last session, and I'm happy all of us seated here were in that session, was to address this issue of spiraling legal fees. So I was listening at your part through the chair. You were saying Tana River is unique. So I thought you should have taken the County Attorney Act and say, amen. This is our savior, and set up, like the way Kilifi have done, a serious department, give resources so that you don't need to spend almost 500 million on legal fees. You would have spent even less than this figure. Because the more you spend in this legal fees, some of us think that you might be taking advantage of your disadvantage to the advantage of you individuals.
Chair, I wish you could ask the governor to relax so that we ventilate on these issues. Then they can
Okay,
go on.
Governor, just relax. We have a maximum of 20 minutes because you must be in the chamber by 2:30.
Yeah.
So just allow the senators
Thank you,
to.
Chair. You know, County Governor of Tana River, the seriousness and the uniqueness of your county should be reflected in the actions that you take. So, if you have serious issues with boundaries, I know, we share a border somewhere. Been quiet for a while, but I don't know what's happening. You will tell us, but that's besides the point. With two members in the office of the county attorney, what exactly are you doing? And what are they supposed to do? If you're saying you have these many cases of disputes in your borders with your neighboring counties, and then you recruit only two counsel, it will definitely lead to you hiring the services of legal counsel from outside, and that's the huge debt that you have.
Governor?
Chair, when I say uniqueness, I'm not just talking about one institution. Even the ones that we have there were, of course, hired. But you should look at probably the staff gaps across departments and look at probably our capacity to be able to generate on-source revenue that probably then would lead towards now hirings. Now, with the challenges that we have had over the years, insecurity, disasters from different corners, what is just said about the land issues, yes, they are there in all counties, but why did the Ministry of Lands and the National Land Commission prioritize Tana as one of the 8 priority counties for that program, the land governance program? Is because the 8 are not the same as the rest of that 34. So then that explains the uniqueness. It's not just one thing. We
are not disputing the uniqueness. We are saying let it be reflected in the recruitment of counsel to deal with your legal issues. That's what we are saying.
Actually, the uniqueness of Tana is a reason why, of Tana River, is a reason why we must come to Tana River in September when the Senate is sitting in Kilifi. And members, even if it takes 2 days, even if the Senate has to come back to Nairobi and we remain in Tana River, please, let's spend some time because it also helps us to understand what happens in some of these far-flung counties. I have been to Tana River before, but with a different committee on national cohesion. And I know the issues around border disputes, I know the issues around communal conflict, but we want to contextualize all these. Members, let's not just even go for a conversation on numbers. Let's do numbers, let's do project visits, but let's also do community engagement so that we are asking the community whether this money that we are sending faithfully from Nairobi is making a difference in the lives of the residents of Tana River. I think that would be the right thing for the Senate to do if you're going to be sitting at the coast for 1 week. And maybe we could organize our program in such a way that if the Mashinani program is tight, we must remain behind for at least 3 days to understand those unique circumstances. So, Governor, you'll be able to explain that when we come to the ground, and maybe we'll also get the views of the public. But on this particular matter, since your county attorney is here, are there some unpaid, unsettled court awards which are generating interest and therefore leading to what the auditor calls avoidable penalties and avoidable expenditure?
Chair, we've been able to have very good relationships with our clients or our service providers. They understand us. And so there are no probably bills that are accruing penalties because, again, we have been able to pay them as we move along.
Where is your county attorney?
Chair, he's just behind me here.
County attorney, you are the user department. Of course, the finances sit with finance, but you are the user department. Do you have unsettled claims that are generating interest?
So far, none has generated any interest, and as His Excellency has said, because of the limited resources, we keep on settling as whatever amount is allocated.
For Hansard purposes, please just state your name and your position.
My name is Stango Maiwa, the acting county attorney.
What happened to the substantive county attorney?
I think His Excellency can...
You are the one who's acting.
Yes, it is because
you're acting for who?
Names have been sent to the assembly, but they've not been approved by.
You've been acting for how long?
For about a year.
Beyond the 6-month statutory period? You are the governor's legal advisor as the acting county attorney. When you come to Nairobi, hapa Nairobi hatufichi maneno, hapa tunaambiana ukweli.
Chair, I can explain it.
Yes, Governor.
He was starting to explain that names have been submitted to the assembly. We have submitted those names probably 3-4 times, changing names, where the assembly will say, no, we don't want this one for different reasons. And we've been generous enough to say, no, if you don't want that one, even if there are no good reasons, then we can change. Then we change and change until now the names are in the assembly. It's not just one, the county attorney. What about the office of the county secretary's nominee? Same. What about chief officers? Same. And we've been able to see this.
You have a problem with the assembly?
Yes, we have a problem.
When is the last time they approved your finance bill?
The last time they approved my is 2020, yeah, the latest one, 2026. 2026, June. June.
So your at least they've approved your finance bill?
Yes, they have
they've approved your budget, your CFSPs?
No, the budget we are still talking.
But there's a problem with approval of nominees to different positions.
Yes.
So the county secretary is still...
Yes, on acting capacity.
The county attorney?
County attorney, yes, acting capacity.
Which other critical
chief officer, chief officer, how many of them? Chief officer health. Although the chief officer health is substantive, but acting in another department. Chief officer enforcement, that one, and they're what? Yeah, tourism and trade and tourism. Same.
Honorable members, this could be something we could discuss because we'll be meeting the assembly when we go to Tana River, so that we don't make any comments that might appear to be interfering with their power,
yes,
as enshrined in the Constitution. So fine, that helps us understand why the gentleman is acting beyond the statutory period. But Auditor General, you'll tell us what the law says, that beyond 6 months, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to provide a substantive appointment?
By the 60th month, you should have filled the position or confirmed the one who is there. That's a law.
So you look into it since it's still a live matter, but also as parliamentarians, we'll also need to ask ourselves, in a situation where the vetting institution like the Assembly takes you in circles, how long should that run? Should it be indefinite? Because if it's indefinite, then even your cabinet can be in limbo for 5 years. I think the same way we did an amendment to the Statutory Instruments Act to provide strict timelines on gazettement of regulations, maybe if there's a gap in law, and our legal counsel, please take that up. If there's a gap in law that allows this back and forth between the executive and the Assembly, we tighten it. But if the executive was doing proper due diligence and the County Public Service Board was doing proper vetting and recruitment, it would be very unreasonable for the County Assembly to reject the nominees. But let's not get into that.
Benefit from him, from the governor, I think. So, Governor, are they rejecting the same names that they reject, then you resubmit, reject, you resubmit, or you are submitting different names and they're rejecting all the names that you are submitting?
In some instances, different names.
Let's go for the case of the county attorney.
Yes,
what is
for the case of the county attorney is different names. Yes.
They don't even like the acting one?
No. The vetting, the way, I think the way they look at vetting is different from what probably Chair, all of us, the rest of us know. Vetting is provided for in law, but some of the things they add into the vetting for reasons of probably ethnicity and what is different. It's different. They look at probably somebody, the way he walks.
I don't think they would do that. But Governor, I don't think the MCLs would do that really. So for his case, so he's in office for 1 year, for almost a year or more than 1 year. And within that period, you've been submitting different names. Is his name included in the names that you are submitting?
No. His name does not appear there. He's only the acting county attorney by virtue of the law. But whoever is the legal advisor by virtue of the law acts as the county attorney.
Do you have a solicitor?
That is the...
Do you have a solicitor?
How do we get there, Chair? The solicitor is part of the list of
No, I don't think the solicitor is vetted by the Assembly.
No, he's not vetted. He's employed by the County Public Service Board.
Yes, and as that position
that list is there. The list of people we require to employ is with the board.
So you said you have 2 advocates within your legal department?
Yes.
It's an acting county attorney and who else?
And someone, a legal counsel.
And a legal counsel.
Yes.
You have not recruited a solicitor?
Not yet, Chair. The position of solicitor is among the list of hiring lists, which is with the Public Service Board, which they have not been able to recruit. But
okay, members, we might not have time to deal with everything before us. We generated many questions, including a toilet worth 1.88 million.
Yes.
You noted that?
Yes, I have it, Chair.
What kind of toilet is this that is worth 1.88 million?
Chair, this is Hola Municipality Stage. Hola Municipality Stage toilet. So it's not a simple toilet like the one you see everywhere.
Has it been built?
It's something very...
Has it been built?
But Chair, my Chief of Public Works is here with me.
Where's the officer?
This is here. municipality money. But the designers, who is the 1.9? Even the chair for the chief officer for urbanization, I think maybe you can respond here. But yeah.
He wants to take responsibility for this expensive toilet.
I'm still there, chair. Too.
Okay. Yeah, so we want to know what kind of toilet this one is.
Yeah, could you state your name and what you do in the county? Then you tell us about this toilet worth 1.88 million.
Okay, Chair, my name is Hussein Bodole, Chief Officer for Urbanization. Yeah, the toilet was built at the stage where there are several travelers. It's a stage, so it's a parking space place. Yes. So it's a modern toilet with different space for the travelers.
Contract sum?
1.88.
Which financial year was it?
22.
So if it has been built and it is all those nice things you say, why is it not being paid for? Why has it not been paid?
If I can read body language, this man he doesn't know up details of that project. So can the governor just take responsibility and tell us
Chair,
the issue?
Chair, I think it's part of the same things we're talking about, paying bills. But since you are coming to Tana this time,
you want us to use the toilet?
No, because you had indicated that you wanted to come in September.
In 1 minute, can you tell us how modern this toilet is? What is outstanding about that toilet?
What is outstanding about the toilet there, Chair? Around the area they are talking about, the soils, because it's not happening just at the hospital. We have probably the CT scan building, which has also cracked. And we've moved and it was built in another place. It has again cracked. So I think what they have been doing is now to ensure that the foundation of this particular toilet is strong enough so that it doesn't crack like the other ones. But the soils in that general area.
The uniqueness is the foundation.
One of the because Tana is a collecting basin, is a collecting area for waters from all over. So if you do something weak, then it does not withstand weather.
Okay.
Okay, especially the same chair with every project.
Yes, you are right. That's why I'm talking about the CT scan, which have been done. Leave alone the CT scan. You should go and see whole hospital.
Let's stay with the toilet.
Yeah, let's remain
concerned with the toilet only. I'm talking about.
Let's stay there.
1.8 now, clerks. They said this toilet is in Hola Market.
Hola Market stage, not just
Hola Market stage.
The market stage.
Let that be part of the things that we look at.
Yes.
And it might sound trivial, but it is extremely important that you have value for money. And that when we spend this kind of amounts, what we get is value. But what is sad is that it is outstanding. With all the praise that you have given it, that contractor is seeing people sit on that toilet and is not being paid. I think that is wrong. Honorable members, we will have to defer whatever we have not been able to deal with to our sittings in Tana River. We really look forward to coming to Tana River, to understand the place, to interact with the people, to find out what your challenges are, but also to get answers to some of the questions that are here. The 273 million must be explained when we come to Tana. The 600 million pending bills paid outside the payment plan must be dealt with when you're coming to Tana. And if possible, we might want to have a session with service providers and people who are owed money by Tana River County government so that we get to fully and properly understand some of these issues that are in the audit report. We will bring this to a close, and if my colleagues have any matter in closing, I'll ask the governor to make his closing remarks.
You noticed that we agreed we'll have an engagement with EACC on this issue of voiding.
Correct.
Ahead of our visit.
Yes, yes. Okay. So, Christian, please take note of that, because any matter that is in this report that was referred to the EACC, it will be a responsibility to tell us how far investigations have gone, because it can't be the governor to tell us that.
Okay, this is noted, Chair.
Yeah, we had already agreed on that. Governor, closing remarks.
Chair, although you had indicated before that that was delegated to Office of the Auditor General, not EACC, but that...
No, I think it's a matter that yes. We've taken your written responses. There was a long paragraph on voided payments, which then you find there could be a relationship with the 600 million. So the EACC will look at the voided part, and the Auditor General will look at the misapplied requisitions part, the 600 million. So when we come to Tana River, by that time, I believe EACC will have made some progress on that. Closing remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We appreciate so much these invitations by the Senate and the conversation that we've always had, the direction that you have always provided to us that has helped us to be where we are today. I know from other records, apart from a few of what we're talking about on audits, but you have also known that the progress that Tana has made today, from where we were to where we are now, there's actually a lot of strides that we've made in different areas of growth. So we don't take for granted what you guide us on what to do, and we don't take for granted the rest of the efforts by the Senate, the entire Senate. Even when you sat together and agreed to increase our equitable share, and that has been able to also be part of the factors that increased other allocation, including equalization fund, FLOCA, and the rest of the funds. Truly, the Senate has helped Tana to get to where it is. How I wish the formula would have changed to 1 kilometer, 1 shilling, apart from what we have now, 1 man, 1 shilling, because in terms of numbers, then we don't stand a chance to be able to move as fast. And that's why, Chair, for the governor to travel to look for partnerships to complement on the budget is necessary, although that is something we can still continue to talk. And in record also, you'll also realize that the travels of the governor has managed to pull in a lot of funding from partners and from investors. The good news about it now today, out of the rest of the journey we've traveled, we have been able to achieve the transformation programs that we wanted, moving Tana from rural to an urban county, leveraging on climate change, the weather effects I'm talking about, which is another unique factor that is critical. It's not just one, there are many but we'll continue discussing about them. So to the extent that now we have investors in housing that are landing in the county, they're already there. We have investors now doing sugarcane. We have investors that are doing fodder. We have investors that are coming in to do many other things. We have investors that are coming for water harvesting and storage. We have investors that are coming on health. You'll be surprised, Chair, if you come next year, God willing, you'll see a level 5 hospital that has been built out of partnerships. Level 5 hospital in Tana, that's a big achievement. But there are many more of those which we'll be able to explain to you when you come for those 3 days. I believe you'll be able to say you want 1 week instead of 3. Otherwise, we are grateful, Chair, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, honourable members. This is among the few governors who have come here and acknowledged our role in division of revenue, allocation of revenue, and determination of the formula. And I think we also take note that when your colleagues refused to come to the Senate, when we issued summons, you appeared before the Senate on the 30th of March. Please make sure that you are not misled by peer influence. Focus on Tana River, work for the people of Tana River. Let that be your primary focus. We will say much more when we come to the ground. We will do much more when we come to the ground. Auditor General, the matters that you have said we keep in view, and the matters that are not addressed, as you're doing your substantive audit for 2025-2026, please ensure you interrogate them fully. But when we come down, those two figures, the issue of trade payables and the issue of variances between financial statements and trial balances, we shall put that to the test when we come to Tana River.
Well noted, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honourable members. This meeting is adjourned, and we are to meet on Monday at